Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about toy packaging. Boxes and card backs, the two most common types of packages for toys. And that's coming up in just a second. Hey guys, welcome back to the 5R Show. I'm your host, and this is Raymond's Robots, Reviews, Repairs, and Restorations. And like I said before, today we're going to be talking boxes, toy boxes. In this case, it would be die-cast toy packaging. But before we get started, I need to give a shout out to Nuno Nico, and I'd like to apologize for my gross miscalculation of that box design. Now, before we get started, I'm going to show you this toy just so you can get the curiosity out of your system in case you have it. It's just a Phantom. That's it. But if you notice, the Phantom, the wingspan fits perfectly in the box. And that's my point. So my miscalculation has to do with the fact that I mistakenly used a cream cheese box. That's right, guys. I used a cream cheese box to design this package, and I used the wrong plane to design it. So when I used this airplane, which is a B-1 bomber, you'll notice that the wings swivel. And so if I were to put this in that Skyflight box, it would fit. It fits. It would fit with the wings open. And the designers, of course, knew what they were doing. They said, well, we need to make a box that fits all airplanes. That was my miscalculation, like I said, Nuno. And so I designed this box for Nuno because he had started making the Cobra Rattler, which I loved. And I eventually was going to get around to doing the same thing, but he had already beat me to it. I'm not angry, of course. I loved it. I thought it was great. And as you can see, this is the original rear of that box. The bottom, you can see how the ink ran out at that point. And just, it's different. It's a little different. Nuno's does look much better because I had tuned it up before I gave him that. But once again, the wingspan of the airplane is the important thing here. And so when Nuno tried to put his Cobra Rattler in there, and I saw that, I almost had a heart attack. And so, yes, Nuno, this is the official apology. I apologize. I made that mistake. It wasn't Robbie's Hobbies. It wasn't you. It was me. I apologize, and I am working to repair that mistake. So, to show you, here is the outline of that cream cheese box that I was talking about, and I had to add a little bit more. If you'll notice, had to add a little more just so that I can fill in the flap, which I always loved. I wished G.I. Joe had made that, but G.I. Joe, maybe a few might have this flap, maybe a few toys, but most of them were just boxes. But I always liked the Transformer flap, and so when I made the Transformer flap for my Tomikas, I knew that I wanted a flap. Now this is the Japanese version, of course, and I will get around to making a US version. Okay, so these are mock-ups, as you can clearly see. But once again, my mistake was that this cheese box, which I thought was great, it was thin and long, and it was just going to look great. And it did look great up until Nico put in that Cobra Rattler. And so what I should have done was this. But, as I said, Nuno, I'm in the process of fixing that. And while this was the first attempt here, I still managed to fail. It will not, the wingspan will not fit, and the flaps are sort of thrown off. They're too thin, and this is the exact span of the A4 paper from my fingertips, my index fingertips. That is the size of a A4 sheet, and so this one is also a failure. But what I did do was I switched it around, and what I did was, you're not gonna like this, Nuno, you're not gonna like this, but I opened up a box. I opened it up, and what I did was I created a new template, and that template is good enough to fit that Rattler, the B1 bomber here with the open wingspan. But as you'll see with others, of course, they might be a little smaller. So you'll have to create an insert. I will, of course. I'll have to create an insert to put those jets in there so that they look decent when they're in the box. And of course, we'll have to create a whole new insert for that. So this paper box for this Zilmex, while I am trying to do something different here, I've seen people create exclusive packaging. I've never seen it done for a die-cast toy. So my point is that I need to put this into my Photoshop, create the new box, and add all those delightful little effects that I've learned to do on Photoshop. And I think the next packaging will be superb. I'm hoping. But like I said, that's why pencils have erasers. We need to learn from our mistakes. And again, I am very sorry, Nuno Nico. It is my fault. My fault. I made that mistake, and I am aiming to correct it because I don't want to make you look bad. Simple as that. Nuno, I love your channel. I think it's great. I know you're a Zilmex fan. I've always been a Zilmex fan myself. And we are going to create cool stuff. I promise you that. Now, the other thing was this, and this is old news. And this has to do with this particular box. Now, this box, you had made a review for one of your Zilmex box, one of your Skyflights that you had. But the sides were different. And I'm here to explain to you what was different about those. I don't have one of those boxes, Nuno. But what I do have is the information. Now, the reason your box doesn't have all this information is simple. And at first I couldn't believe it, but it's true. Apparently, these were also sold in vending machines in Japan. That's right. These were sold in vending machines in Japan. You can go up to the vending machine, choose the plane you want, and then you can put in 300 yen, and out comes that box. And I am not sure, I don't think yours had a barcode, but you would be buying it directly from a vending machine. And that vending machine, as you know, Japan has tons of vending machines, but that vending machine was apparently exclusive to a prefecture south of Tokyo. I cannot remember exactly where, but it is close to Osaka, around that area. So this one was sold in stores. The one you acquired, Nuno, was from a vending machine. So I've been wanting to look for that information for you for a while, and I'm glad I finally did. Also, I wanted to talk a little about these boxes, the the ones I created for the first two videos that had to do with Tomikas. Now, as you can see, this is one that is also battered up. But as you'll notice, with these, the mistake here is that when you close that flap, you can see the white. And that's a no-no. That is a serious no-no, because as you can see here, when you close this box, you don't see the white. The only white sticks out is the white from the panel, but not from the inside. And that's what I need to learn how to do on Photoshop. Now, the other thing was that I myself miscalculated the bottom glue panel, which goes on the underside of this box. Now, with the Bumblebee, I was able to just paint it black, and it came out pretty decent. But with the Scrapper, it did not come out as decent, and I could not find a purple marker, and it was not gonna match. Now, I found out what happened was when I designed the Photoshop box template, for some reason this section, I accidentally moved it early on in the design phase, and I thought that's where it went. And so I made that mistake again. And so once again, showing you the boxes that I'm using to create these, you need to have this flap here. You see that? That's the flap that you glue to the bottom of the box. And I miscalculated it. And that's why it is where it is. Now, the box itself is pretty close, except for that flap. I made that mistake early on, and I am aiming to correct it, but as well as saying to myself, you know what? While this little box is really cool and everything, I do love it. I do. I'm going to fix it, but I am also considering making a larger box for it, because I feel that the box for this one, however cool it is, I might have the same issue as I did with the Jet. And so while the boxes are pretty much spot on size-wise, because the same template, but some of the Tomikas are larger than others, and so I'm going to have to create something better and bigger. And yeah, I'm hoping you guys can be part of this process. So if there's any information you can help me with, like for instance, I know this has to do with using the work path on Photoshop. And if you see that little line, I don't want that little line there. That's a little black line. All these little lines. So, I mean, I want to create one that has no lines, such as this. So I'm trying, guys. I'm trying my best. And we can only keep trying until we succeed. And for me, the success was just in making these, just originally making these. And to me, I love these. I love the package. I think they're just so cool. But yeah, you know, maybe we'll make some American versions. But my point is that these, to me, are just so awesome, just the way they look, you know. And I'll show you one of my early works, and this has to do with a card back. This right here is what is known as a Super Sentai Ranger key. This is a Power Ranger toy. Now this Power Ranger toy, apparently you just raise the arms and you flip the legs or the waist down, and now you have a key. You know, and so a lot of people have customized these keys. Now it's for a toy line called Gokaiger in Japan, but in the US it was called Super Mega Force. And you put it into the morpher and you flip it and make sounds and noises. So one of my earliest products, which was I would say about 2 or 3 years ago, was this. I found this at a 99-cent store. It's a bubble. It's a bubble card. I call it a bubble card because it's not just a bubble, it's a whole plastic slide-in bubble tray card. And so what I did was, on Windows Paint, I made this one. I customized a Power Ranger key into Spider-Man, one of my favorites. So I always liked Spider-Man ever since I was a kid. Not that I have many Spider-Man toys, but I did want to make something like that. And the thing is, here's the toy, I made that sticker on Windows Paint. Now, other than that, I also used, of course, paint to paint the head and to paint the pants and stuff like that. But that was about it, the extent. For me, the package was the important part, but I failed, as you can see. So I'll be honest and I'll say I think I've come a long way. And so the next Spider-Man package for this will most likely look very cool. I'm hoping it will look very, very cool. So that is going to be future projects, as well as making other characters. But like I said, this is mostly for packages. And what I need to tell you guys is that even though I'm in Japan, I would like to create cool packages for whatever country. But here is a vintage blown Camaro Z28 from Hot Wheels. And so that's what I'm aiming to do. I didn't know about gradients before. Now I do. I didn't know about PNGs, which is how you stick an image on that gradient, and then the text and how to tweak the logos. And so now I can do that with Spider-Man, and that is going to be future projects. And like I said, I love Spider-Man, right? So of course one day we might make something like this as well. This is a Corgi Jr.'s 1975 Spider-Man helicopter. Look at that. That cool? I mean, geez, I was only 3 years old. 1975. I was 3 years old. Made in Great Britain. Oh, I'm sorry. This is 1977. So, well, yeah. So I was still 5 years old. But the point is, Spider-Man was one of my favorite superheroes. It is still my favorite superhero. But, I think before they started making the movies, he was pretty cool. And yeah, of course, I went to see the 2002 Tobey Maguire version, and yeah, everybody loved it. That thing was just popular. So, but anyway, so my point is that with this channel, we are going to try to be making packages. That's what I want to do, is packages, more than actually restoring toys. But of course, we'll keep with the restorations, of course, but I want to go into all different types of projects. I don't want this channel to be boring. I want it to be a variety type channel. I want it to be interesting. I want it to have the possibilities of doing anything, and that's what I'm aiming for. So with that said, I'd like to thank you guys for coming today. I'd like to please ask you to consider subscribing to the show, to the channel. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like what I'm trying to do? Does it work? Leave comments. Share your thoughts. Give us a like. Let us know. Okay, we're going to be here for a while. So I want to thank you guys again for coming to the show. God bless you all. Take care out there. Stay safe. And I will see you guys on the next episode of the 5R Show.